a tutorial today using all products from this week's beauty bag from Shop My Stash at the start of each week. And I'm going to use the Dream Street palette. I really want to do a tutorial using these teal shades. As you can see, I really love these three shades. They're amazing. But I want to do something with the teals. So let's do it. I'm going to start off with eyes, and I'm using natural light, and I'm also losing natural light, so it's a bit later on. It's 3:30 right now. I'm using INGLOT. This is called the Coverup and Highlight Duo, and I am going to blend it out with this brush. It's from Sigma. It's the F88. Without setting the concealer base on the eyes, I'm going to go into this dark shade right here. It's called Elfish, I think. I always get these wrong in the old packaging. And I'm using a Sigma E55 brush. Is this type of a shape. I'm going to dip in, and we're going to start doing the crease. So always stamping and wiggling, because it's a wet base. You need to tap it on first before you start swiping it everywhere, otherwise it's going to be a mess. So my thought process for this look is I'm going to do like a natural type of a cut crease, natural toned cut crease, and then I'm going to do the pop of teal on the lower lash line. So once I have the crease all done with that shade, I'm also going to pop it onto the outer corner, and we're just going to blend it all in. Now I wanted to like diffuse the edges so that we have that beautiful smoky type of a look. I'm going to go into this shade right here in the palette. So I think it's called Water Bearer. And I have a Sigma E25 brush. I'm just going to dip that in here. We're going to go onto the edges of the outer crease here. And we're going to tap it extremely lightly first, because we have not set that base up there yet. Only where there's eyeshadow there already is where the base is set. So you always want to tap it on first before you start swishing it around and blending it. So now that it's down, then we can start swishing, and we just blend the edges together. I want to do a little bit of a cut crease, so I am going to grab that concealer from before, pop it on the back of my hand. This is a cut crease brush. See this shape of it? It is Sigma E62, and it's specifically for cutting the crease. But I don't know, I got it and it's a little bit bent out of shape, I think, but we're going to do it anyways. So we're just going to pop it on, and we just want to make that crease more defined with the concealer, and we're going to set that concealer then with a lighter shade. So I'm just going to go as far as maybe there and fill it in. Now that the lid is free, I can put whatever I want on it. I'm going to go into this shade here in the palette. So it's a nice light shade and quite a denser brush. And we're going to pop that on top of where we created the cut crease to set it all down. And I'm not going to worry yet about where the cut crease meets the outer corner. We're just going to set it down all over. Remember that shade that we used just above the crease to blend it out, smoke it out, and the same brush, the Sigma E25, I'm going to go right into it, and that's what we're going to do. Exactly the same thing, blending each shade into one another. And when I'm blending the cut crease into the eyeshadow on the outer corner, I like to go in this direction. So I like to make a slight diagonal just to give the uplifting shape to the eye. See how that just frames the eye a little bit more, and you get more blended. And I'm probably going to go back and forth with the original brush that I used at the beginning and the darker shade, just to make sure that we don't lose any of the intensity there in the outer corner. The eyeliner, liquid liner that I picked out for the week is the Flormar Roll and Go. So this is one of those black eyeliners, liquid liners that have one of those little wheels on the end. Super, super cute. And takes a while to get used to. I'm not going to lie to y'all, it really, really does. The formula of this product is amazing. So you just place down where you want to put it, and you get super straight lines. And then all you do is you fill it in. I think mine is getting a little bit dry, but this formula dries super fast as well. So when I get to the outer corner, I am going to place down a little bit of product and I'm going to smudge it in to the intense dark brown outer corner to get that lovely smudgy look. I'm going to come back to my eyes in just a little while. We're going to move on to the face next. Just wiping away any excess underneath my eyes from those eyeshadows with a reusable cotton wipe and some cleanser. It's prime time. I have this like red thing on my eye. I don't know what it is. I just got it today. So I'm going to pop 2 pumps of this Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer on the back of my hand. Warm it up a little bit and we're going to pop it on. So this is my first full week using this primer. I'm going to prime that red thing. And no complaints. It's doing its job. I'm very happy with it. I have a few little breakouts coming through, so hopefully this will help. For foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Superstay foundation. This is in the shade 110 Porcelain. This is what the packaging looks like. I just have it on the back of my hand. I'm going to grab that brush that I used to pop on the concealer on my lid earlier. This is the Sigma F88. I really like this brush, using it so far. I was using sponges for a long time. See how full coverage this is. I think 1 pump is actually enough to cover the whole entire face. And I'm going to tap it onto the skin. I am not like swishing it around or blending it. This is going to be a really full coverage on the skin type of look. And let's see if that primer primed my pimples so that I can cover them up. And this is usually a really good shade match. It looks really light going on, but it'll be perfect once it's all set and bronzed and blushed and everything. I do find that Superstay foundation to be on the drier side, so if you do have dry skin, I don't think I'd recommend it, or else use something extremely hydrating underneath the foundation. So as you can see, I've started cream contouring. I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Stick in the shade Call Me Maple, and see where I have that like natural hollow there. I just like to go slightly above it, just that much of a line, and then we'll start blending it all into the skin, and this will just be nice and set looking into the skin. I always usually prefer to do a powder contour because I find creams a bit scarier and harder to use, where the powders you can just blend them off if you make a mistake. But this Wet n Wild one is amazing. It is so good, so good. So this is my project pan and I'm nearly done. I'm doing a super light contour at the side of my nose as well. So I'm just taking it off the stick itself and just blending it straight on instead of drawing it on. I'm just going to blend that right out. Let's cover up the under eyes next. So I'm going in with the exact same concealer. This is the only concealer I picked out for the whole entire week. So that's why I'm using it in multiple different ways. And we're going to cover up that red little thing there on the side of my eye. And I'm going to blend it out then with this type of a brush. It's from Real Techniques. And we're just going to smoothen all of that out and give us a nice blank canvas for that teal. Once that concealer is all blended out, I'm going to set it immediately underneath the eye. And the brush that I'm using for this is a angled cream contour brush. It's obviously clean, F61 by Sigma. And I'm using my Derma Blend translucent powder. This is great for underneath the eye. It sets everything in place. And it's also another Project Pan item, so you can see I have a good bit of pan going on there. Moving right along to blusher and bronzer, I'm using one of these new Urban Decay palettes. This is the Stay Naked Threesome in the shade Fly. There is a highlighter in here as well, but it's a little bit too dark for me, so I'm not going to be using it. And I'm just going to set that cream contour with the bronzer that's in here. And then I'm going to apply the blush. And you all know I love blush. This is super pigmented, so be careful. Look how much I have. That's way too much. And we're going to pop it on. I love this blush. Ooh, see how pigmented it is? But don't worry, just keep on blending it until it's all completely blended in. And usually with blush, it kind of fades off as well. So don't worry if you feel like you've added too much. These are great value because a little goes a long way. You're going to get great value for money. For highlighter, I'm using this beautiful highlighter from Nars, and I just hit pan on it yesterday. And I'm using a Sigma F64 brush, and I'm just popping the highlighter onto the high points of the cheeks. from the center of the nose. I like to focus here because I got a little dent there in the face. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just the way my face is. Tip of the nose, tiny bit. Keep it bow. Along here underneath the eyebrow, which we haven't done yet. Up along the sides of the forehead. You don't have to put on this much, but I'm just being super extra. And the other cheekbone. Next, on the eyebrows. So eyebrow prep for me is like a weird thing that I have. If I don't brush out my eyebrows first with a spoolie, I feel extremely weird about putting products on my eyebrows. I don't know what it is. Anyone else? This week I'm using the Benefit Brow Contour Pro. It has 4 different selections on it. It's like one of those old style pens. I'm going to go in first with the lightest shade and I'm going to twist it up to get up the product. And I'm going to fill in the brows completely, especially all over evenly actually. And then I'm going to go into the darker shade for more focus on definition and the tail of the brow. Next, to move back onto the eyes, so I'm going to go into this matte teal shade here. I think it is called, what are you called? Water Bear. I said that about a different shade. Seriously, this old packaging of Colourpop, it confuses the life out of me. I don't know what it is about my mirror image that I just can't figure it out. So I'm just using a really small detailed brush. This brush is by Luxie and I'm popping that onto the lower lash line. So for this week's beauty stash, I did not pick out a teal eyeliner, but I grabbed one just for the sake of the tutorial. And I'm just going to bring it all in underneath here, just like that. I really thought that these teal shades would be a lot more of a pop of colour, but they're not really. It's nice. So next I'm going to go into this teal shade here, which has more of a shimmer in it. And I'm just going to pop it on top of that matte shade that we placed down underneath. This is just going to give it an extra little bit of shine onto that area underneath the eye. I have this Kohl pencil eyeliner from INGLOT. This is the shade 08 and it's a teal eyeliner. And I'm going to pop that into the waterline. So if you don't have a teal eyeliner, you can do white in the waterline or nude in the waterline and leave it if you want to have a more open eye look. Or you could do the white or the nude in and then place on top very, very delicately the teal matte shade from the palette on top the white waterline and on top the white eyeliner in the waterline, and you'll get the same effect. For my inner corner highlighter, I am using the same highlighter I use for my face. That's the Nars Capri. Just popping it onto the inner corner and the underneath brow bone. For a setting spray, I'm going in with the All Nighter Urban Decay setting spray. This is the matte finish, so this is a newer version of it. Smells the exact same as the original, and I have the Urban Decay primer, so I like to call this an Urban Decay sandwich. Next, I'm adding on a layer of mascara. I'm using the Kohl Beautiful Mascara, which I absolutely adore, and it is nearly gone, so I'm going to be using a new mascara from next week. The lip combo that I have picked out for this week for a nude natural look is the IT Cosmetics new Pillow Lips in the shade Vision Beautiful Nude. And I already have my lip liner on. This is Olivia Stick Colourpop in 951. I have a full review on these lipsticks. They are really lovely and super pigmented. And to completely finish off the look, I'm going to go in with some lashes. These are my current favourites. I'm going to look down into a mirror and I'm using my little lash helper from Tarte. And we are going to pop them on the lid as close to the lash hairs as possible. I'm usually really bad at putting on my own eyelashes. And I do find it difficult. So this thing really helps. So that is the finished look. I hope you gained some inspiration. Even if you wanted to just do the lid part and not use the teal, from the Colourpop Dream Street palette, and hopefully it gave you some inspiration on how to use the teal colours in that shade. There's loads of other ways to use those teal colours in that palette as well, but this is just one way to emphasize the color on the lower lash line. I did think it was going to be a bit more brighter in color on my skin, but it's still really, really nice.